Shoulders itchy. Chardonnay True Crime fans, welcome back to another episode of Chardonnay True Crime. I'm your host, Dakota. With me, as always, is the lovely Kate.
That's me.
That is her. And tonight, we are going to be covering the Toolbox Killers. This is another Southern California crime spree. This is another Southern California killing couple, I guess is the best way to put it. I don't know. These guys are just, boys being dudes committing crimes.
I guess couple of guys being dudes.
Guys being dudes killing girls.
Couple of dudes being guys. Couple of guys being gay. Show me your dick, Steve.
What?
Do you not remember that Vine?
No. Oh wait. I remember like guys being dudes, but I don't remember the show me your dick part.
You don't remember that part? That's like the best part of the whole thing. It's like they're driving. It's like a couple of guys being dudes, couple of dudes being guys, couple of guys being gay. Show me your dick, Steve.
Oh, I forgot that part.
You forgot the punchline of the Vine.
Listen, my brain is adjusting at the moment. For those of you who don't know, I have just started taking antidepressants this week. It has been 5 days. My brain is adjusting and learning how to brain properly. So, yeah.
That's fair to say.
Yeah, it's learning how to brain for the first time in ages. So, yeah.
Your brain is getting to the point it will be able to do its best.
Exactly. Currently, it is doing its best slowly. Slowly. So a couple of announcements. We are going to be taking a break at the end of December. We are going to be going on about a 2 to 3 week hiatus. We'll keep everybody updated. Just wanted to let everyone know now that Halloween, antidepressants and white wine, exactly. That's right, Dan. Yeah, I know, antidepressants and white wine. Sign me up. Yeah, I sound like a suburban housewife right now, don't I?
White wine is my antidepressant. That's how you sound like a suburban housewife.
I've got my Chardonnay and my it's gonna be fine. Actually, I'm drinking Pinot Grigio tonight. I was out of Chardonnay. But I had a bottle of Pinot Grigio laying around, so I was like, wow, look at you.
Yeah, I was out of my fruit Moscato.
But anyway, I look happy. Well, thank you. I'm trying my best. But anyway, so we're going to be taking that 2 to 3 week hiatus at the end of December. And then after the hiatus is over, I will be coming to you from my new place of living. I am officially making the statement. I am moving to Las Vegas at the end of December. Yeah. So this is a good thing. I'm really excited about this move. I am excited to have a new hometown, a new that I'm going to be coming at you from live in the middle of the desert.
And I will have a new destination to go visit every once in a while.
Exactly. And we already know that Kate enjoys Las Vegas, so it'll be a good time.
I love the Sharks. I'm going
to try and get a job with the Sharks. I'm not even joking. I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to work with the Sharks. They're going to be like, you have no qualifications. I'm going to be like, but I love them.
Just, you have no qualifications. I love them. That's enough.
Shit, you're right. All right, you're hired.
You are the Shark manager now.
Yes. Shark manager.
Shark wrangler.
Oh my God. I would love that job. Are you kidding? Oh my God. I would go nuts for that job. We get a comment here from Liam saying, great. It is great. I am excited about this move. But let's get started in the Toolbox Killers. starting with Lawrence Bittaker and Roy Norris. So good old Larry committing crimes with his gal pal Roy.
Is it the Toolbox Killers or the Toy Box Killers?
Toolbox. Sorry, I got that fucked up. We covered the Toy Box Killers already.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second.
Yeah. We covered the Toy Box Killers. That was that guy in New Mexico who was killing with the help of his daughter. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the Toolbox Killers. This is, like I said, Lawrence Bittaker and Roy Norris. So let's get it started with Larry Bittaker.
They murdered so many wrenches.
Oh, so it was just, the Home Depots are not safe. Look out, Lowe's. Here we come.
Oh, boy.
So Lawrence Sigmund Bittaker was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on September 27th, 1940, as the unwanted child of a couple who had chosen to not have children. Great start. Great start, guys. Larry was placed in an orphanage by his natural mother and was adopted by Mr. and Mrs. George Bittaker as an infant. His adopted father worked in the aviation industry, which required the family to frequently move around the United States throughout his childhood. Because, moving around all kinds is super great for growing kids.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, because, all kids need is some, hardcore instability in their lives to be functioning members of society.
Yeah, instability and inconsistency, that is the recipe to grow a functioning human being.
A+. Yeah. So, Bittaker was first arrested for shoplifting at the age of 12 and obtained a minor criminal record over the next 4 years after further arrests for the same offense, in addition to petty theft, which brought him to the attention of juvenile authorities. He would later claim that those numerous theft-related offenses committed throughout his adolescence had been attempts to compensate for the lack of love that he received from his parents. I don't know. I kind of feel like, with those parents, they're probably just they're like those parents that are just like, oh, hi, Leary. How was school today?
But see, I'm just feeling like, it's to compensate for the lack of love. I don't get enough love, so I'm going to steal it in the form of stuff.
All that stuff will always love me. Yeah. So although he was reported to have an IQ of 138, Bittaker considered school to be a tedious experience and dropped out of high school by 1957. Which is fairly common for people with a high IQ, honestly. You hear more about people with high IQs leaving school than, not. I mean, they seem to have a hard time with school in general. And it's not even just so much that, they don't get it or anything. It's just that it's just, really boring. I know when I was in school, I was just bored, 100% of the time. I'm not claiming to have an IQ of 138, but I'm just saying, I was bored.
Yeah, I was definitely in a jokey way, just thinking just because you decided to leave, that doesn't mean you have a high IQ. But I didn't want to insult your intelligence, but I thought it in a joking way.
Okay. I like that you're making a really big point to be but it was in a joking way.
I'm your friend. I'm allowed to joke about your intelligence.
Thanks so much.
I think that's the rule, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So by this stage in his adolescence, he and his adoptive parents were living in California, and with a year of dropping out, he had been arrested for car theft, a hit and run, and evading arrest. I'm fairly certain that all three of those happened in the same moment. I'm just saying, I don't know. He stole the car and then hit something and then ran away, and then they were like, oh shit, he's evading arrest.
What if the hit and run What if he hit a cop car and was immediately evading arrest? Like he stole the car. He stole the car. As he was pulling away, he hit a cop car and then zoomed off.
The cops are just like, bruh. Bruh. I've actually seen that. I've seen videos of people hitting cop cars and then fucking taking off, and the cops are just like, what?
The balls.
And they chase them and they're like, are you kidding? And they're like, I didn't do anything wrong. And they're like, you did so many things.
There were so many things you did wrong.
You did all of the things wrong. Name one thing. I can name 12, but that's not one.
Oh, you're a cop? Then name one law. Don't murder people? Okay, that's on me. I set the bar too low.
Always good to get a Brooklyn Nine-Nine reference in. All right,
that was such a weird crossover moment.
It was. Now, for those offenses, he was imprisoned at the California Youth Academy, where he remained until he was 18 years old. And upon release, Whitaker, Larry, discovered his adoptive parents had disowned him and had relocated to another state, and he would never see them again.
Yikes.
Yeah. They're just like, I swear to God, his mom just, George, I just don't think I can handle any more of this with Larry.
Oh yeah, he's just causing us so much trouble.
He's just, and you know what? I found out he's not even going to the prison chapel on Sundays. He told me he would go every Sunday, and he's not going, George.
So not only is he not going to church, but he lied to his mother
about going to church.
This is the last straw.
George, I can't do it anymore.
We have to unadopt him.
Yep. And we're fairly certain that is exactly what happens.
Oh my God. That just made me think of Blades of Glory. I'm unadopting you, Jimmy. I've been your son for 26 years.
God, I haven't seen that movie since it came out.
Yeah, that was one that my brothers would watch a lot.
So with the unadoption process, that is where we are going to flip the script on over to Roy Lewis Norris, who was born in Greenlee, Colorado on February 5th, 1948.
Boy, what a mouthful of a name.
Roy Lewis Norris. Honestly.
It just sounds like you're gargling.
Roy Norris.
The high-end community.
Roy Lewis Norris. Do say the high-end community.
The high-end community.
Roy Lewis Norris. Oh God. So Norris was conceived out of wedlock, and his parents had married to avoid the social stigma surrounding an illegitimate birth at the time. Now, his extended family lived within a short distance of the parents' home due to his grandfather's real estate investment, and his father worked in a scrapyard, and his mother was a drug-addicted housewife.
Who wasn't back then?
Honestly, like, career goals. Just saying. I got my Zoloft and white wine. I'm ready. Somebody wifey me up already. God.
Me chucks a ring at your head.
Hello, ladies. All right. So he occasionally lived with his parents throughout his childhood and adolescence, but was repeatedly placed in the care of foster families throughout the state of Colorado. Now, his childhood recollections were interspersed with memories of wrongful accusations while living with his biological parents and of being neglected by many of the foster families he lived with, frequently being denied sufficient food or adequate clothing. He also claims to have been sexually abused when in the care of a Hispanic family, later stating the prejudices he had towards Hispanic people originated from the neglect and abuse that he endured as a child when placed in the care of this family. Ugh, so he's racist on top of everything else.
Ugh.
It's a couple of guys being dudes being racist.
Show me your dick, Steve.
Now, living with his parents at the age of 16, he visited the home of a female relative who was in her early 20s and began to speak to her in a sexually leave her house and informed his father, who threatened to subject him to a beating. So, Roy subsequently stole his father's car and drove into the Rocky Mountains, where he attempted to commit suicide by injecting pure air into an artery in his arm. Jesus.
Oh.
I hate that. I hate that so much.
I hate that very much.
I don't like it.
How did that not work? Did he just miss?
I'm guessing he missed. Yeah. I'm guessing that he missed. So he was later apprehended as a runaway and returned to live with his parents again. And upon his return home, his parents and his younger sister were unwanted children, and that they intended to divorce when both reached adolescence. A year later, Roy dropped out of school and joined the United States Navy and was stationed in San Diego in 1965 and deployed to Vietnam in 1969, although he did not see active combat during his 4-month tour of duty. And he was honorably discharged from the Navy after one tour of duty. So he was in your area.
Yeah, represent the military, I guess. There's
represent.
Yeah. There's like so many. I mean, I don't feel like there's so many military bases around here, but like it just feels like this whole area is one. I just feel like this whole area is like one giant fucking military base.
There's like 3? 2? 3?
I don't know. I know there's Miramar. That's all I got.
Pendleton.
Oh. Yeah, I guess that's technically, that's still technically San Diego.
Yeah, it's San Diego County.
Yeah.
I've been on base at Pendleton. You good?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just dropping unimportant shit. It's fine.
As long as it's unimportant. So anyways, within days of his parole from the California Youth Authority, Larry Bittaker was arrested for transporting a stolen vehicle across state lines.
These guys.
So, in August 1959, Bittaker was sentenced to 18 months imprisonment to be served in the Oklahoma State Reformatory. He was later transferred to the Medical Center for Federal Prisoners in Springfield, Missouri, to serve the remainder of his sentence. And in 1960, he was released from prison and soon reverted back to crime. And within months of his release, he had been arrested in Los Angeles for robbery, and in May 1961 was sentenced to 15 years imprisonment. And while incarcerated for this robbery, he was diagnosed by a psychiatrist as being highly manipulative. The psychiatrist also described him as having considerable concealed hostility, which, that just sounds like me as a teenager. I was a very angry child.
Yeah, you also gotta love how like he didn't have consistency with like where he grew up, and he can't even get consistency with where he's imprisoned.
Yeah, no, seriously, this man's whole life is just a whole big bag of inconsistencies, I guess is the best way. I don't know.
He is just a bouncy ball because he just keeps bouncing all over the place.
Right? Seriously. Just God, this fucking guy. Also, I just want to show you like what he looked like really quick. So the only pictures we really have of Lawrence Bittaker are from when he was in on trial. So let me just show you this one that I have real quick of Larry. I'm just gonna call him Larry. It's more fun for me. That guy. He looks like such a fucking nerd.
He looks like a potato.
I know, right? He's just like, ugh.
Got like a 6 head.
Yeah, I know, right?
That is just like.
It's not even a 5 head, it's a 6 head.
And like he's got like a widow's mountain on like the side of his head.
I know, right? It's just a whole lot of yikey, this guy.
Like his face is too
looking.
small for his head.
I know, right? It's wild. I'm just like, So all the pictures that I have of Roy Norris are like really small and they won't show up very well. So I'm going to show one that I have of the two of them together. And since we already know what Larry looks like, we'll be able to tell which one is which, obviously. So I'm going to just show this picture really quick of these two fucking idiots. Dudes being guys. So the one next to Larry is Roy.
He kind of looks like somebody. He kind of looks like somebody who comes into my store.
Well,
like it's not the spitting image or anything, but like he just has like a slight resemblance.
Well, and, like, I mean, honestly, if you ask me, he just looks like a fucking white dude.
Yeah. And like he looks like somebody who, when he talks, he looks like he kind of talks like this, like out of his nose a little bit.
Yeah. Honestly, like these guys, do you think at one point Larry ever grabbed Roy and was just like, "You're my wife, Roy. You're my wife. You're my wife."
Oh my God. And then Roy was just like, "If anything, I'm the husband."
So anyways, now while he was incarcerated for robbery. Oh wait, I already said that, but whoopsie doopsie. All right, so Bittaker was released on parole in 1963 after completing 2 years of his 15-year sentence. And in October 1964, he was again imprisoned for parole violation. And in 1966, underwent further examinations by 2 independent psychiatrists, both of whom classified him as a borderline psychopath, a highly manipulative individual, unable to acknowledge the consequences of his actions. Bittaker explained to one of them that his criminal activities gave him a feeling of self-importance, although he insisted circumstantial matters pertaining to his environmental and upbringing decreased his ability to resist committing crimes. Basically, so you know how I was like raised and stuff, like how I told you, like I was raised and it was really crappy. So because of that, I can't help but commit crimes. Like that's just it. That's all I can do. I have to commit all the crimes.
Have you considered bettering yourself as a person?
No, I can't do that because I have to commit crimes.
Have you considered therapy?
No, just crime.
I just can't crack this guy.
Just crime.
Ah.
Crime. Sorry, I thought you were trying to say something.
No. I had like an aggressive itch in my.
Oh, that's the worst. So anyways, Whitaker explained to one of them that his criminal activities gave him a feeling of self-importance, although...
Oh, you just read that.
I did. So he was prescribed an antipsychotic medication, and a year later, he was again released into society. So a month after his parole in July 1967, he was again arrested and convicted of theft and of leaving the scene of an accident. He was sentenced to 5 years, but was released in April 1970. And in March 1971, Whitaker was again arrested for burglary. He is just so bad at this.
It's like, I understand that, like, you know, people can develop like these like compulsions, and you know, there's, you know, you literally just can't stop, but bruh,
just stop getting caught. Fuck.
Just, you would think with how much you do this, you would get better at it.
No. Now, due to repeated parole violations, he was sentenced to 6 months to 15 years imprisonment in October 1971, and 3 years later, he was again released from prison. In 1974, he was arrested for assault with attempt to commit murder after he stabbed a young supermarket employee who had accused him of stealing. The supermarket employee had observed Whitaker stealing a steak and had followed him outside and into the store's parking lot, where he asked Whitaker whether he had forgotten to pay. Whitaker responded by stabbing his pursuer in the chest, narrowly missing his heart. And he attempted to flee, but was quickly restrained by 2 other supermarket employees. The employee, Gary Louie, survived the stabbing, and Whitaker was convicted of the lesser charge of assault with a deadly weapon and to California's men's colony in San Luis Obispo.
That sounds a little gay.
Now, in November 1969, Norris was arrested for his first known sexual offenses. He was charged with both rape and with assault to commit rape, and in the latter incident, he attempted to force his way into the car of a lone woman. 3 months later, in February 1970, he attempted to deceive, allowing him to enter her home. And when the woman refused, he attempted to break into her house, and the woman phoned the police, who arrested Norris before he had the opportunity to cause the woman any harm. Less than 3 months after this offense, he was diagnosed by military psychologists with a severe schizoid personality. He was given an administrative discharge from the Navy under terms labeled as psychological problems. And in May 1970, Norris, for bail on his latest offense, attacked a female student whom he had been stalking on the grounds of San Diego State University campus. He repeatedly struck her on the back of the head. He repeatedly struck her on the back of the head with a rock until she slumped to her knees, before he repeatedly beat her head against the sidewalk as he knelt upon her lower back. Ugh.
Yikes.
God, that's just fucking terrible. That's just awful. Shortly thereafter, Norris was charged with assault with a deadly weapon. He was committed to a total of 5 years imprisonment at the Ascaderos Hospital, where he was classified as a mentally disordered sex offender. He was then released from Ascadero in 1975 with 5 years probation, having been declared by doctors as an individual who was of no further danger to others. Just 3 months after his release, Norris approached a 27-year-old woman walking home from a restaurant in Redondo Beach and offered her a ride on his motorcycle. When she declined, he motorcycle and grabbed the woman's scarf, twisting it around her neck before informing her that he intended to rape her and dragging her into a nearby bush. Fearing for her life, the woman did not resist the rape. Now, although the rape was reported to police, they were initially unable to find the perpetrator. However, one victim observed Norris's motorcycle and noted the license number, which she immediately gave to the police. He was arrested for the rape 1 year later and was tried and convicted for this offense and sent, where else but to the California Men's Colony in San Luis Obispo. Now, while incarcerated at the California Men's Colony, Norris met and befriended Bittaker.
I just want to say real quick, good for her.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, that really was like the best way she could have handled that.
It really is. It really is. Absolutely. We've got a comment here in the comments, and it says, "Am I mistaken, or do women tend to have more interest in crime stories than men?" That's an interesting question. I think more women are interested in them because more men commit crime related cases. I don't know.
I feel like it might have something to do with like women appreciating like seeing justice get served.
That could be it, yeah. So he goes on to say, "My wife loves reading and watching crime stories. Invite her to check out the show. We're on every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we talk about crime stuff every time. We're available here on Twitch, we're available on Facebook, and we are available on YouTube.
Check us out."
Hey. But, I mean, I've always been interested in crime. I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. I mean, I studied crime so much in school and everything that it just sort of seemed natural that I went this route, you know?
Yeah. And like, I know, like, honestly, like, I could just be like thinking about it too much. Cause I mean, I was into like fictional crime shows, like, you know, CSI and like NCIS and all that when I was like 10 and 11, like way younger. And I don't know, it was just like, ooh, the drama of it all, the shock, the horror. Oh my gosh, are they going to solve it? Of course they're going to solve it. Of course, you know, they're going to solve it.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it has something. Go ahead.
Maybe. We do have another question. It says, "Have you guys covered BTK?" We have covered BTK. We are going to be recovering BTK for our podcast, which is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere that you listen to podcasts. So go ahead and check that out. But yeah, we're gonna be redoing that for our podcast. But we'd already covered BTK. What were you saying, Kate?
You remember that time that I texted you rather than checking on Google? Hey, who was what was BTK's actual name?
How long did it take me to reply?
About 10 seconds.
It only took that long because I misspelled Dennis at first. For the record.
And you know, you have to account for how long it takes for the messages to send.
And that too. Yeah. No, I replied to that so fast. We'll be subbing to the podcast later tonight. Thank you so much for the subscription. We really appreciate it.
Yay!
All right. So, Bittaker and Norris initially became loosely acquainted in 1977, 1 year after Norris arrived at San Luis Obispo. Now, Bittaker's initial impression of Norris upon his arrival at the California men's colony was that he was a savvy individual who largely associated with hardened criminals from motorcycle gangs, in addition to dealing in contraband drugs. I don't know. I just think I feel like all drugs are technically contraband. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
My thoughts on the thing.
I was thinking, like, I mean, like, I was thinking, like, except maybe cigarettes, but at the same time, I don't know.
That's the 70s. Cigarettes are totally allowed at that point. I mean, even when I was in the mental hospital, like, cigarettes were allowed, like, when it was smoke time. And everyone was like super fine. But I did, admittedly, I was in a private hospital. Yeah, but I still think that they're allowed some places. I remember I was there on what was it? It was April Fool's Day, and the head nurse, Colleen, decided to like scare everyone that was a smoker and was like, "Oh yeah," like as an April Fool's joke. She told us all that that they had gotten a message from the people who like owned the hospital, and they were like, "Oh, we're making it a non-smoking facility," and everybody lost their shit. It was so funny. And then she was just like, I'm joking, April Fool's, guys. And everyone was just like, Colleen, we're all mentally disturbed individuals. You can't do this to us.
You can't joke about our nicotine.
Yeah, basically. Everyone was just like, dude. It was really funny, though. It was like really funny. So anyway, so the pair gradually became more closely acquainted and began talking in friendly terms when Norris taught Bittaker how to construct jewelry. The dudes being guys doing arts and crafts.
Look at this. Look at this. Look what I can make. It's a macaroni necklace.
Oh my God, that's amazing. And then the best thing about that necklace, if you get really hungry, you could eat it. You got spaghetti on your neck. Look at that.
Just drop that in some water, put some cheese on that. You got macaroni and cheese necklace.
Perfect. Macaroni and cheese necklace.
Oh, now that I've said that out loud, I really hate that. Oh God, that's so bad. I don't like it. Can I undo that? Can I take that back?
Nope. Our merch is gonna include handmade macaroni and cheese necklaces.
I don't regret much, but I do regret that.
All right. So now, according to Norris, Bittaker saved him from being attacked by fellow inmates on at least 2 occasions, and by 1978, the pair had become close acquaintances, discovering that they shared a common interest in sexual violence and misogyny. Wait a second. Wait a minute. You like sexual violence and misogyny? I like sexual violence and misogyny.
Oh my God, do you just like hate women?
Oh my God, I hate women.
Did we just become best friends?
You're goddamn right we did. God, these guys. All right, so Norris also divulged to Bittaker that the biggest stimulation for him was seeing frightened young women, adding this was the primary reason that he had amassed a lengthy record for sexual offenses. Now, Bittaker, who is not known to have committed any sexual offenses prior to meeting Norris, divulged to Norris that if he ever raped a woman, he would kill her, so as to not leave a witness to the crime. Now, when alone, the pair regularly discussed plans to assault and murder teenage girls once they were freed. And this shared fantasy evolved into an elaborate plan to murder one girl of each oh God, an elaborate plan to murder one girl of each teenage year from 13 through 19. Ugh.
Well,
Goals? I guess
they're
they had goals.
organized. They're organized.
Goal oriented men. Terrible goals, but goals nonetheless.
And while I don't appreciate what your goals are, I do appreciate that you have goals.
I guess. Now,
always got to strive for something.
So the two vowed acquainted once they were released. And Bittaker was released from the California men's colony on October 15th, 1978, and he returned to Los Angeles and found work as a skilled machinist. The work earned Bittaker close to $1,000 a week, and despite classifying himself as a loner, he became friendly with several people in his neighborhood, earning a reputation as a generous and helpful individual who occasionally donated money to the Salvation Army.
Ugh,
wouldn't it be nice if like that? Yeah, I know. Well, wouldn't it be nice if that was just where the story ended and he didn't do the fucking horrible things that he did?
Yeah, right? If he just fell into that habit and just like actually stayed a decent person.
If he just got reformed and was just like, reformed now, yay! And nothing else happened ever again, the end, goodbye.
See you next week!
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not quite how it goes. On one occasion, he is known to have purchased large quantities of fast food and wine, which he then handed out to homeless individuals in LA. Bittaker was particularly popular amongst the local teenagers and later admitted the primary reason was that he always had beer and marijuana in his Burbank motel and that his residence would become a popular place for teenagers to socialize. What is it with these grown-ass men who are just like hanging out with teenagers? It's so creepy.
Yeah, it's because creepy guys like teenage girls, and B, they want to like retain like an element of their youth and and like, you know, feel cool with the kids. So like they want to hang out with kids because it makes them feel like they're still kind of a kid, but they're a cool kid.
I'm like a predator, but I'm like a cool predator.
Yeah, you know, I'll creep on you girls, but I'll give you beer and weed while I do it.
I'll get you so crossfaded you won't even know what I'm touching.
See, that'd be funny if that wasn't what he was actually doing.
Yeah. Now, 3 months after Bittaker was released from the California men's colony on January 15th, 1979, Norris was released from prison and moved into his mother's home in Redondo Beach. He soon found employment as an electrician in Compton, and shortly thereafter, he received a letter from Bittaker. And in late February, the pair met at a hotel and rekindled their plan to kidnap and rape young girls. In order for the pair to be able to successfully abduct teenage girls, Bittaker decided that they would need a van as opposed to a car. Which, oh God, who was it that we just covered that like they drove around in a van and were like raping people? But it was boys. Who was that? We just covered him. Oh my God.
Is it the guy who like altered his car so like there was no handle on the inside?
No, it was the one who, and then there was like other guys that were like raping and killing with him, remember?
Oh yeah.
He was another one of those dudes that was just like, oh yeah, just dudes being guys. And oh my God, who the fuck was that? You know who I'm talking about, though.
I know exactly who you're talking about, and I'm really annoyed about this.
It's not. Oh my God. Why can't I remember? I hate this.
What the fuck? That's September.
What?
I was like scrolling trying to see if I could remember like if any of these names were like jumping out at me. And like I got all the way back to September and I was just like, wait.
Was it Robert Hansen?
Maybe.
I feel like it might have been Robert Hansen.
I will say that it may have been.
Hang on a sec. No, Robert Hansen was the butcher baker.
Dang it.
Candlestick. No. All right. Anyways, we got this show to finish. So anyways, with the financial assistance from Norris, Bittaker purchased a silver 1977 GMC cargo van in February 1979. Oof. Like, God, just. Ugh. So, for the record, just for the people who don't know what a silver 1977 GMC cargo van looks like, it is basically the epitome of like the rape fan. So this is it. Throwing it up on the screen now.
Oh, yeah.
The epitome of rape van. Am I right?
Pretty much. I didn't see that on the CarMax website.
No, you didn't, because why would no? Ugh.
I'm glad I didn't see it on the CarMax website.
I'm glad that I like look this up and then I click on like images and then it's literally like me to an article about Lawrence Bittaker.
Larry boy.
Google knows me too well. They're like, oh, she's looking for this specific car. Well, we know what she's covering tonight. Lawrence Bittaker. And I'm just like, thanks, Google.
Google listens to you. Literally.
Google's really the only one who does. But the van, as you saw, was windowless on the sides and had a large passenger side sliding door. And according to Bittaker, when viewing this sliding door, he realized that he or Norris could pull up to a teenage girl, get real close, and not have to open the doors all the way. And they would go on to nickname this van Murder Mac.
It sounds like a great big sea song, except that's Mary Mac.
I thought it sounded like a Grateful Dead song. I don't know. But anyways, so from February to June 1979, Bittaker and Norris picked up over 20 female hitchhikers. The pair did not assault these girls in any manner, and the practice runs were merely a way for them to develop ruses to lure girls into the van voluntarily and of discovering secluded locations. In late April, the pair discovered a secluded fire road located in the San Gabriel Mountains. Bittaker broke the locked gate to this fire road with a crowbar and replaced the lock with one that he owned.
Wow, I really hate how clever that is.
I do too. Like, honestly, it's actually kind of fucking brilliant, unfortunately.
Just, I know we like to give these criminals shit for like being dumb and like, you know, like do better and you won't get caught. And like, that's like exactly what these guys are doing. And like, we don't actually want them to do better and not get caught.
No, we don't want that to happen at all whatsoever. But like, we like being able to give them shit.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like, you gotta give credit where credit's due. That is actually a smart move, but also we hate you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So Bittaker and Norris killed their first victim, 16-year-old Lucinda Lynn Schaefer, on June 24th, 1979. Schaefer was last seen leaving a Presbyterian church meeting in Redondo Beach, and in his written accounts of the events of that day, Bittaker stated that he and Norris first finished constructing the bed the pair had installed in the rear of the van, beneath which they had placed tools, clothes, and a cooler filled with beer and soft drinks. At approximately 11 a.m., the pair drove to the beach area, drinking beer, smoking grass, and flirting with girls. We had no set routine, in their words. At approximately 7:46 p.m., Norris spotted Schaefer walking down a side street and remarked to Bittaker, "There's a cute little blonde." Oh, wait, it's Norris speaking, so there's a cute little blonde.
Ugh.
Fucking nerd. After unsuccessfully attempting to entice Schaefer into their van with the alternative offers of marijuana and a lift home, Bittaker and Norris drove further ahead and parked alongside a driveway. Norris then exited the vehicle and opened the passenger side sliding door and leaned into the van with his head and shoulders obscured from view behind the door. When Schaefer passed the van, Norris exchanged a few words with her before dragging her into the van and closing the door, using a ruse that they would repeat in most of their subsequent murders. Bittaker turned the radio full volume as Norris bound the victim's arms and legs and gagged her with duct tape, as Bittaker drove Schaefer to the fire road in the San Gabriel Mountains, where in April the pair had switched the locks. Despite initially screaming when she was abducted, Schaefer quickly regained her composure, and in his written account of the night that followed, Bittaker wrote that Schaefer displayed a magnificent state of self-control and composed acceptance of the conditions of which she had no control. She shed no tears, offered no resistance, and expressed no great concern for her safety. I guess she knew what was coming.
Ugh.
That's so fucked up. Poor Lucinda.
That's just gut wrenching. Like, I don't want to say it's like she accepted it, but it almost seems like she kind of gave up. Just, well,
yep,
nothing else to do.
Yeah. So at the fire road, Norris first raped Schaefer after instructing Bittaker to go take a walk and return in 1 hour. Upon returning to the van, Bittaker similarly raped the girl in Norris's absence. And upon the second occasion in which she was raped by Norris in Bittaker's absence, Schaefer asked him whether they intended to kill her, to which Norris replied, no. In response, Schaefer requested to be allowed time to pray before she was killed if that was Bittaker and Norris's intention. In their subsequent accounts of the actual murder, Bittaker and Norris gave different endings as to who argued over whether they should kill her, release her, or rather than release her, and each stated that the other argued that they should kill her. Of course. In any event, Schaefer pleaded for only a second to pray before Norris attempted to manually strangle her. After approximately 45 seconds, he became disturbed at the look in her eyes and ran to the front of the van, vomiting. Bittaker then manually strangled Schaefer until she collapsed to the ground and began convulsing. He then twisted a wire coat hanger around her neck with vice grip pliers until the convulsions ceased. Schaefer was denied her request to pray before Bittaker and Norris killed her. I don't like that.
God, that's just
a coat hanger.
And just, that's just like, not only is that horrible, but they were just like so cruel about it too. Like, she anticipated it, and like, absolutely
accepted it.
Yeah, and they didn't even give her, she was going to like let whatever, I don't want to say she was going to let it happen, but like she had seemed to come to terms with what was going to happen. And it's not, I don't feel like she was going to give them any trouble, and they wouldn't even let her pray.
Well, the thing with it is, and you know this, it's all about control for these people. You know that. And by letting her do that, like by letting her have her last request, they would be letting her have control.
Yeah, that's true.
And these guys, they can't have that. I mean, these are guys who never had so much control in their lives before. This is the one time that they actually have control over a situation. And do you think they're going to like let someone else have that control? No, absolutely not. They are going to take all the control that they have.
Ugh.
So her body was wrapped in a plastic shower curtain and thrown over a steep canyon that Bittaker had selected. And according to Norris, after Bittaker had thrown her over the canyon, Bittaker assured him the animals would eat her up so there wouldn't be any evidence left. And that is where we are going to leave off on tonight's episode. These guys suck.
Yeah, I hate them very much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I hate knowing that I share a state with them. Yeah. I just can't live in California anymore. There's too many serial killers out here. Bye. I'm moving to Vegas. Like, I can't do this anymore.
Just fucking California in the 70s, just...
Dude, right? Seriously. The 70s were such a wild time for California. Like, there was so much going on. I mean, and not just California, but like, you've also got fucking Fucky McDickface up in Oregon or wherever the fuck he was. Washington. He was in Washington, right?
I feel like he was in Oregon.
Was it Oregon or Washington?
I don't know. He lives rent-free in your mind, not mine.
It was Washington.
See, like I said, rent-free.
I hate you.
Sorry.
Listen, he only lives there because I fucking hate him. I hate him so much.
I know.
You know who's joined him rent free in my fucking brain? Varg Vikernes.
Ooh, guys, she angry.
Varg fucking Vikernes. That guy. That fucking guy.
Fucking guy.
Fucking guy. There's gonna be a point someday. I swear to God, there's gonna be a point someday where I'm just like, we're gonna have like we're gonna like put together like a compilation of all the like moments that I'm just like triggered by fucking serial killers, and it's gonna all be Gary Ridgway. All of it. It's just gonna be me. It's gonna be my different variations of names for Gary fucking Ridgway.
Oh my God, that would be so fun. Just to throw that together.
Right? As soon as I learn video editing, I'm going to work on that. I'm going to go through all of the episodes that we have available on YouTube. I'm going to go through all the episodes that we have available on Facebook. I'm going to find clips of me just freaking out about Gary Ridgway. And I'm going to compile it together, and then we'll release it on our Patreon. If you liked our content tonight, don't forget to check out our Patreon, by the way. The link is down below. patreon.com/Chardonnay TC. That's CHARDONHAAAYTC. Or if you feel like throwing us a couple bucks individually, you can throw me a couple dollars. My Venmo is at Dakota's Beard. Kate's Venmo is at Kate Ulrich 42. Again, check us out on Patreon. We are going to be doing some fun stuff on there. I feel like some of the Patreon content is going to take kind of a back seat to me moving. Just a heads up, that is a thing. And once I'm more settled in Las Vegas, I'll be a lot more able to work on some more content. Maybe I'll do an episode where I go out into the desert and try to, summon the spirits of all the mobsters that are buried out there.
That's a really bad idea. Please don't do that.
I'm not white, so it's okay. I'm Native American, so, the spirits won't murder me.
That's not how that works. I'm still mad that we were blocked off from Zizek's health spa.
I'm so mad about it. I am angry.
We went on a whole rant on my Snapchat while we were driving back from Vegas. We got the length of 2 football fields off the freeway towards that exit, and then road closed.
I was just like, no! I was mad about it. I wanted to go to the health spa. They don't want us to be healthy.
Why do they hate our health?
They hate our health.
They hate our health. They hate us. It was a hate crime.
It's the rudeness for me. It's the anti-health for me. Yeah. All right. Anyways, so guys, if you enjoyed our show, don't forget Patreon, and don't forget we will be back on Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to do the Toolbox Killers. I almost said toy again. The Toolbox Killers Part 2. Until then, say goodnight, Kate.
Good night, Kate.
Good night, and we will see you all on Thursday. Have a great night.
Bye.